So at 5:03, we'll get started. And Dwight has said he would take notes. Just as a reminder, we are doing this online as we are permitted to do under the rules that are still existing. And I guess we'll plan to keep that up for as long until we decide not to, although I do want to bring up something along the way. Seeing no public, I will go ahead and skip the public comment period. I'd like to move on to committee operations because I would like for the first thing we do to be to have an opportunity to discuss and vote on Lori's potential membership. I know that we've met her once via phone at the meeting. I have not met her in person myself, so I don't know a whole lot. I have spoken with her a couple more times, but she has expressed an interest in joining. She seems reasonably energetic and so on. So I would like to recommend that we vote to forward her to the select board. Now, there is one additional piece. She has said that her schedule does not really allow her to meet at 5 p.m. So part of this will be a consideration of moving our meeting time a little bit. She has indicated to me that 5:30 would probably be okay. So I don't know how people feel about that and whether we want to discuss it before, during, or after a consideration of Lori herself. So I will open the floor on that.
What is Lori's last name?
Demain, Demaine. She's actually, I think I included her in that list there for the template for the minutes. Yep, she's on that. She's
As far as start time, Michael, I'm fine with 5:30. I know John has John expressed what his preference is? I know his schedule's tight as well. I guess all of ours are.
He has not said, but typically, I mean, I think he's at work. Unless I hear otherwise, would kind of assume that later would work better for him, not worse. I think that in general, I'm the biggest stick in the mud, with my early to bed, early to rise kind of syndrome here, and have advocated for an earlier time, but half an hour isn't going to kill me one way or another. I don't know of anyone who has expressed an interest in, the maintaining a strong interest in maintaining the earlier meeting time, but I thought I'd at least throw that open. And also any consideration of Lori. Like I said, she did joined and participated in the last meeting, but I have yet to meet her personally. But I've spoken with her.
If 5:30 works, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I can be pretty flexible. I think probably swing a later start as needed.
I'm okay.
Okay, well, why don't we assume that the later start will work okay? Anybody have any thoughts or anything about Lori? I know it's kind of reasonably quick, but I have a hard time figuring out exactly what we would figure out if we, pushed it further down the line or something like that. I suppose she could turn out to be a real disaster, but she doesn't seem like it. I don't know how she would be a real disaster, but we do know that there are ways from our past experience.
You don't have to talk about me like that in public.
Oh, darn, I forgot you were here tonight.
You let me join, so I think she'd be a great addition.
Well, if you guys are agreeable, can I get a motion?
Yeah, so what's the motion, Michael? Motion to
Go ahead, Robbie.
Forward Lori's name to the select board for membership.
Yeah, so I motion to present Lori's name to the select board for UEC membership.
Okay, do we have any further discussion? Graham?
I was just gonna say, yeah, I mean, the second, I don't know if there's further discussion.
We haven't traditionally gone with seconds on the committee. I don't know why that is, but I have a memory that Peter did it that way, and it seemed to work fine. So, um,
Well, I'm a yes, one way or the other.
okay, well then let's move to a vote. All in favor of forwarding Lori's name to the select board for membership, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
All any opposed? Since there's nobody left to oppose it, the ayes have it. I will forward that to the select board, and we can finalize the discussion on the time with other people. I'll put that out to the folks that are not here to make sure that that will work. I don't want to, obviously create problems for anyone, but I'll pass that along as well, or I will, put that out to everybody and finalize that as well. The other thing I wanted to bring up under committee operations was I don't know, since we are talking about bringing a new person on, if we thought it might be worthwhile, and God knows I don't know why I'm even bringing it up given my own proclivities in these matters, but to have one in-person meeting so that everybody can meet everybody, possibly the August meeting. Well, I know we don't absolutely have to, but it seemed like it might be a possibility. We don't have to make a final decision, but because I think I ought to put it out to other people, but I'd like to get people's feelings about that as long as we're here.
I can't do in person in August, but I
Okay.
think an in-person meeting at some point would be nice. Like to meet some of you folks at some point.
Steve, you're here, and you're here as though you have a computer.
I do. It'll probably die because it's died the last 2 times I've run it, but I figured I'd give it a try.
Oh, fair enough. I just wanted to mention we have just voted to forward Lori's name to the select board. I don't know whether you wanted to comment
Nope,
on
that's
that
good.
at all.
Nope, great.
Also, as part of that discussion, Lori had said that 5 o'clock meeting time is difficult for her, probably impossible. And so I was opening to discussion the possibility of pushing the meeting back by about a half an hour to maybe
Works for me.
5:30. Okay, well, that sounds good. Well, then I guess we got John left, and I'll throw it out to Peter too. But Lori has asked about that. So if that's the case, and everybody does turn out to be agreeable, if John can, if that works for him, we will plan to move the meeting to 5:30, going ahead from here. So,
Good.
and I also was talking about the possibility of having an in-person meeting. Robbie says he cannot do it in August, but maybe September, people could get to meet one another now we have a potential new member on the committee and that sort of thing. So,
What would the
something to
date
think
be in
about.
September? You know?
Let me just check. I've got a calendar here somewhere.
But I
So
believe
the September date, second Wednesday would be the 13th.
I know that John and I are going to be in California and probably not in shape to attend a meeting at 5:30. So
In which case, maybe we should consider moving that meeting,
Yep.
maybe to the third Wednesday.
yep, that would work.
Okay, why don't we tentatively plan on doing that? We can finalize that at the August meeting, make sure everybody knows about it. Have it on the thing. So we'll plan that meeting for the third Wednesday instead of the second. Okay, that said, thank you all for doing that. I'd like to move along. Dwight is taking notes, Steve, so
Good.
hopefully that will crop up somewhere along the way.
I'm not. I'm in the Google Docs and I don't know. So I'm making notes in the Google Docs, I believe.
I have my Google Doc open and I don't see any notes appearing.
Hmm.
Are you making them on the agenda, maybe?
Yes.
No, I don't see that either. So,
Hmm. See if I can share.
I've got them open on my other computer, and
Did
I'm
you
not
sign
seeing notes.
in as did you sign in as a UAC account?
Nope,
Yes, I'm on the U account. How
Yeah,
about
you are, but
Dwight?
he's not. But
I'm
he's
not.
not. That would help.
That would do it.
All right, well, I'll just make notes and then say I just shared it with everybody,
That's fine. Whatever works.
and then I'll
Yeah,
send it in.
we need to get the handle on this at some point.
Yeah. Yeah. So people do need to know to sign in as the UEC account. I've got a U in
Yes.
my little pink circle there, so I am signed in as UEC under the circumstances. Okay. So that said, I guess the next item on our agenda is to review and approve the minutes from June 14th. Has anybody had a chance to take a look at them? Does anybody want to can somebody move them and we can make any discussions?
So moved.
Okay, the minutes are on the table. Does anyone have any comments or thoughts on the June 14th minutes? Everybody utterly thrilled with them.
Thrilled.
Okay, hearing no discussion, the minutes are moved to be accepted as without change. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, the minutes are accepted as posted. Okay, moving on to some other stuff. I wanted to, let's see, what's next on my agenda here. According to this, at 5:16, moving on to ARPA projects. I did want to bring up the ARPA projects. I think you guys are probably aware, we're all still guys here, but I use the term genderlessly in any case. But um, you're probably aware that the select board accepted all of the ARPA committee recommended projects except the town hall solar. I remain a little unclear as to exactly what they're looking for on that. I did
I think
attend that meeting.
the bottom line is that Patricia doesn't like the visibility of it, and and I think it's an aesthetic issue. That's all I
Um,
heard her say.
yeah, I was there and I did not hear that loud and clear. I think that did come up, but I didn't get, and I don't think, and we did not get an opportunity to make a presentation on it. I guess the question is, how do we want to handle this? I mean, basically, they have not reallocated the money. They're kind of looking for sort of more information on this project, as near as I can tell. I'm wondering if our solar group should put together a memo on why we think it ought to occur and how we think it ought to occur. The question is, should we try to get the particular implementation that we forwarded to the select board was the Sun Common one. I wonder if we should try to get the Sun Common people up to sort of go through it with us and run through some of the questions there was the question of should we put it down on the town garage and so on. It was my understanding that one of the big functions of this was in fact its visibility, that our goal was to demonstrate to the town that the town is behind solar PV and kind of working on it and so on. And So, to try to make it invisible doesn't exactly solve that particular side of it. We can provide some power to the town hall, but of course the town hall is already getting some. But would it be worthwhile for the solar group to take it up? A, B, to pull the Suncommon people back into it and run through this with them, create a list of questions, and put together a brief memo to the select board how we think that we ought to proceed from here.
I think the first step is to ask the select board, what is it that you object to? Maybe say, well, that's really want to know, what is it they object to? What is it they don't like? Because I definitely got the vibe that it was an aesthetic issue, but maybe I missed something.
It may be, but I mean, it's certainly the aesthetic consideration would obviously be occurring in the absence of a consideration of kind of the educational or statement
Right.
educational
Yeah.
value associated with it that we envision for it. So and maybe that would be adequate to do that. I have already submitted an email to Brad, and I think, let's see, did I think I CC'd Jennifer on it as well, asking for more information on what needs to be, what the questions are. I have not yet received a response. I did receive kind of a general response from Brad that he's off doing something flood related at this point. So I assume Brad would be the appropriate point of contact, but
Yeah.
so maybe we should just wait until Brad's there and can pick up the pieces on that.
Yeah. Yep.
But I'm wondering, should we keep it in the larger committee or should we kind of refer it to our solar group?
We could refer to the solar group just to make it simpler.
Yeah, that sounds like a plan. And of course, we've got the solar group here, except Jerry isn't really on it and Dwight isn't on it. So, but other than that, this is the solar group. So, but in any case, I will renew my request to Brad and then bring that to the solar group to see, what course we need to take. Possibly we can engage Suncommon and coming and talking about it with us, but we obviously need to know the questions we need to answer.
Yep.
Like I said, I already submitted an email at the end of last week or something like that, asking for clarification on this. I think maybe even before that, maybe, soon after anyway, I did and have not yet heard.
It may make
So,
sense to contact Patricia independently and Dan independently and just say, once we hear back from Brad, but that might be something we could do.
sure. Yeah, that sounds good. Okay, we will proceed on that basis and not let it drop, but just kind of keep going on it and find out what questions we need to answer and how we're going to answer them.
Yep.
That sounds fine to me. So let's see what else is coming up on my agenda. Next thing I had coming up, I neglected to ask if anybody wanted to make any adjustments to the agenda, so I think I better ask that now.
All's good.
Okay, so we'll go with that. So the next item on there, I have program updates, a couple of different things. I was just putting under this general category, taking that up at 522. The two things that I wanted to talk a bit about are the pre-audit program, and that may land in Dwight's lap here because I know Kathy McMains has been very interested in getting involved in all of this, and I conveyed to her that we wanted to have under our belt, an actual test, and I understand that that's going to be coming up soon, our first shot. Also, at our farmers market the last time, and there was actually somebody that signed up as expressing interest in the pre-audit program. So I did pass that along to Dwight as well. So Dwight, I didn't know if you wanted to address this briefly.
Yep. Like you said, you stole my thunder. Next Friday, the 28th of next week, we will be doing I'm looking for help because I think John's working during the day. I have Fridays off. Somebody wants to go along with me. It's at 9 a.m. We will be doing our first pre-audit. And that's at the Fitzgerald's house. So, yeah, we'll be doing a blower
What's the
door.
date, Dwight?
Go ahead.
What's the date?
The 28th, the Friday, not this Friday, but next Friday.
Okay.
We'll just double check that.
9 a.m.
Yep.
Okay, I'll see if I've got some time. I'd like to learn. I see we have caller one. I'm thinking it may be Lori. Is it?
Hi, yes, this is Lori Domain.
Oh, hi, Lori. Lori, just to bring you up to date briefly, we have already had a discussion about your membership, and the group has elected to forward your name to the select board if you are still interested.
Yeah, it sounds great. Sorry, I couldn't get here at the start of the meeting.
Yes, I also passed that along, and so far, everyone seems agreeable to moving the meeting time to 5:30. We have at least one more member and one emeritus member who have not yet been consulted about this, so I'd like to, but we would anticipate, based on our earlier communication, that we could move the meeting to 5:30 so that you would be able to make it. Would that work for you?
Yeah, that should be good. I end work at 5:30, so today I'm a little earlier, but usually I can be there shortly after.
Yep. Well, as of right now, that's the plan. And as I mentioned before, we can talk a little bit more, but as I mentioned in the email, when we forward that to the select board, they'll want to meet you, and they'll also want a very brief kind of, here I am, I'm wonderful, I'm interested in energy, I got lots of things to say, and, please add me to the committee, and they'll say, hi, how are you? And, I'll plan to be there with you, and we'll just get you on the board. It is a formal town committee. It does require a select board appointment to be on it. Okay,
Sounds good.
excellent. Great. So we have just, let's see, I think we've just moved on a little bit to, we've covered the first part of on the agenda. You did receive the agenda and so on. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So you've got that available to you. So we've now moved on. We're on the section of, let's see, updates and program updates. We've just been talking about the pre-audit program, and Dwight's mentioned that. I wanted to mention the climate action plan that I've been on that committee for the last year or so. That's a draft of that is in fact up on our Google Drive and available for people to look at and comment on. I am making a presentation to the Planning Commission tomorrow evening, talking about the three basically energy sections. Those cover transportation, building energy, and renewable energy sections of that plan. Any comments that anyone has for me before I do that would be highly welcome. And even after I do that, hopefully I won't have to extract my foot too far from my mouth if people come in after that. But nonetheless, whatever people have to offer, would like to see covered in all of that, please let me know. I am putting together a PowerPoint now. You're all welcome to show up. It will be available online as well as in person, I'm sure. I plan to actually go to it since they meet in person, as I recall, and I thought that would be better routine. So I think it's a fairly decent piece. It is a plan, and as such, it suffers from a lot of the problems that plans can have in terms of generalities and lack of really nailing some things down. But I think it's gotten farther in some directions than many plans do. Any thoughts or anything that anyone has, like I say, now or in the future, would be highly welcome. It could be a useful tool for the town. There is some interest in figuring out how, what we'll be able to do with it. Many of the pieces and things that I think we have talked about are covered in it, and sort of provide that much more fodder for doing the things we want to do, including, among other things, perhaps PV at the town hall. So we'll see how all of these things go. I don't know if anyone has any thoughts or comments or questions right now. I'm glad to, before we move on to the next piece of the puzzle here. Nope. How about go get them or something like that?
Go get 'em, Michael.
Up and at 'em, whatever.
I haven't
Okay.
I haven't had to look at the
Yes.
climate action plan. This is Lori. I haven't had a
Yeah.
chance to look at the climate action plan before. Is it completed in its final draft form?
It is nearing that, but if comments were to be offered by the committee, I'm sure that I could do something about it.
Okay.
I feel confident I could
But
do
you're
something about it.
tomorrow?
Well, this presentation that I'm giving is tomorrow. So if you've got any thoughts, but I mean, even after that, if you were to see something that you thought would be helpful or something like that, we'll be having a couple of more meetings anyway, and so at that time I could bring information to the group and say, we've got information from the Energy Committee. I've got feedback. Here it is. Can we do something about it? And I think we could get that. It's not nailed down. There's going to be at least 2 more meetings with the Planning Commission before it gets, before some kind of final stamp gets stamped on it.
Okay, I'd say
So,
let's move on.
okay. So that's been done. What's coming up? Let's see. Where am I now? After this, the next item is to take a look at some of the initiatives and stuff that we've been working on at 5:31. And so I'm actually fairly well ahead of the game, but that's all right with me. I wanted to just update people. We have gone to, at this point, 2 farmers markets. I won't say that they have been stupendous successes, but I think that, again, people have expressed some interest. We've suffered through the heat and so on. Jerry's been there for both of them, for all of the first one and most of the second one. Thanks again, Jerry, for everything that you do on all of this stuff. I very much appreciate it. And as I said, that we did manage to get a sign up at the last one for the pre-audits. So I think the word is kind of getting out and things are actually happening. So that's a plus, I think. In addition to that, we did hold the EV event jointly with the Jericho Energy Task Force. That was on the 29th. We had a lot of people there, a lot of vehicles again, a lot of interest. I think the word is definitely getting out. This time we supplemented it with kind of a seminar wrap up with Dave Roberts from Drive Electric Vermont, and he gave a really great presentation, a lot of really good information available there. I think that we could put some of this information up. He has sent me his PowerPoint. So if we wanted, we could put it up on our website or some kind of a link to it or something like that. So I think that there is a lot of good information there available, and I think that that was a real positive thing. GMP was there with their electric pickup, and people were oogling and oohing and ahhing throughout, kind of things. So we had quite a few people at the meeting, at the seminar piece afterwards. So that said, we do have the option for possibly doing some more farmers markets. There's at least, I guess, 2 to 3 more opportunities this summer: August, September, and I think October. We'd have an opportunity if we wanted it. We can get a booth once a month. And so the question is, A, should we? B, there was some discussion of putting together back when oh God, again, how easily we lose track of our previous planner, Nick Atherton, had suggested trying to pull together some kind of a quote unquote bike night. And I thought it had an interesting ring to it, in which we could possibly enlist Locomotion. He particularly mentioned Locomotion's bike valet program, and there was some talk about e-bike demos, but I believe Lori has suggested that that might not work so well from discussions that she has had. But the bike valet may still work. So I don't know whether we want to talk at all about that. Even if we didn't do it in August, we could conceivably, if it took a little more time to pull together, we could think about it for September. I'd like to open that discussion, and there was also the possibility of trying to set up a bike valet at the harvest market, in which case people would be able to ride bikes and have them taken care of by Locomotion. That would be the end of September. So I don't know if anybody has any thoughts about either of these considerations.
Hey, this is Lori. I did speak with someone from Locomotion about the harvest event, and he gave me a few contacts to reach out to.
Would that be like for the bike valet idea, Lori, or what? Just generally participating?
Yeah, so that's what I was telling him about, the bike valet idea. And he sounded like they could help and just gave me a couple different contacts. So I haven't reached out to them yet because I didn't have any of the specifics details. But yeah, I do have a couple contacts from them.
That would be great. Do you think it's worthwhile pursuing for the farmers market as well? And if so, is it something that we could look at for as early as August, or should that be at a September date?
I'm not sure. I mean, I guess it would just depend on their availability. Do a lot of people ride? So you're talking about the farmers market in Jericho?
Yes.
Do a lot of people ride their bikes to it?
I have not seen a lot of people. What the idea would hopefully be that this would create some kind of impetus for people to do so. There we could generate some publicity, see if there's any other bike thing that we could do around that. I would need to be in touch with Elizabeth fairly soon, I think, about what might be involved in doing that. So we would need to get that information from Locomotion fairly early. There'd be a certain amount of logistics involved, but kind of creating a bike theme energy piece for
Michael?
it. Yes.
So just continuing to talk about the farmers market, I think the bike valet is a cool concept, but I want to be cognizant of Locomotion's time. If no one's biking to the farmers market now and they show up, there's not going to just automatically be 100 bikes that show up, I don't think. And maybe I'm wrong in that perspective, but maybe we hand out some flyers about Locomotion for August and talk it up for September. But I think August would certainly be too soon to make it worth their time.
The other question is, Michael, how many people have actually showed up at the booth at the farmers
Right.
market?
Well, quite a few people come by, at least say hello and so on and so forth. We don't have a lot of stuff actually going on. It's not a, there's not
Yeah.
a big demonstration of this, and there's not a big activity, so people don't come and, we don't sell anything, and we're not giving a formal demonstration. When it's
So
sunny, and
would locomotion come and bring an e-bike or?
I have understood that they are not very interested. They don't think that farmers markets are a good e-bike demo kind of thing, although that would create a little bit of a
Because unless
focus.
there's
Now,
unless there's
yeah,
some real draw, I agree with Robbie that it's probably not worth their time, even
I
in
like the
September.
e-bike demo idea. If that's something Locomotion is interested in, I think that could get some legs and especially bring
Yes,
people into the booth.
I agree with that.
Laura, you've spoken with them, right? It's my understanding that they were not very hot on e-bike demos at farmers markets. Am I misunderstanding what?
I mean, it was definitely a few weeks ago that I spoke with them, so I don't remember exactly. I mostly called them because of the Vermont e-bike program, and then just mentioned this. So I don't think we talked about that. I think I just asked them about the Harvest bike ballet because I know they do that in Burlington at the farmers market, and I've used it, and it's really popular in Burlington, just because the amount of bikes and the high rate of bike theft as well in Burlington. So I have seen it in the Burlington farmers market. But yeah, I think we mostly just talked about the Harvest Festival and doing a bike ballet for that.
Because I'm not sure. I mean, right now, I don't think that bikes are a major source of people getting to the harvest market either. I mean, that I don't recall seeing a lot of them. Now, if people thought there was a very, if we were to really push it or make some kind of a big deal about it, maybe that could change. But I guess the question is, how might we pursue this?
Lori, is it possible for you to gauge their interest in a e-bike demo?
Yeah, I could definitely ask them about that. I'm not sure if that's something we do, but I could ask.
That would be great if you would pursue that a little bit. And, I think because if we're going to do anything for August, even the promotion, well, I mean, I think the meeting would be our meeting. No, that yeah. Oh, it's a September meeting. No, it's the August meeting that we were moving. Which one are we? Which one did we just move? The September one, right?
I think we moved both of them. August has already been confirmed, I think, and then September.
Right. No, but I mean, yeah,
Oh
shifted.
no,
Yeah, I
yeah,
think only the
September.
September one was shifted.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So then we would be there before presumably the 17th. So to figure out exactly what we could do to promote this, but yeah, I'm a little unsure. I'm certainly up for trying to figure out a way to do some promotion on this. I think it could be a useful thing to do, but we're kind of starting from a standing start. We're not building on a huge influx of bikes. We're trying to figure out ways to enhance that and make that look and feel more attractive as a way to get there. I think. I don't know if this is something worth pursuing or not. I'm open for discussion.
I would let it lie, Michael. Let's see if we can do a demo. I think that's the hook, but I think a valet is way too premature at this point.
I agree with Robbie. I mean, I just asked myself. I mean, I'm not going to ride my bike to farmers market because I can't carry anything back in my personal bike. So I can't imagine a lot of people are going to use a bike. So I vote we
Mm.
let Lori explore the demo option and see what comes up of that.
Okay. I'm game. So Lori will explore the demo option, and we'll see if anything begins to materialize after that. We'll table any ideas of a bike valet for either the harvest market or one of the farmers markets, right?
Yeah, I would say, Michael,
Yeah.
we should at
Like,
least have a booth. Oh, sorry, Lori. Go ahead.
no, go ahead.
I was just going to say, Michael, I think we should get the table for the farmers market for both August and September in
Okay,
parallel with trying to connect with local motion.
I'll take care of that. Okay,
I
and
was
Lori
gonna,
will pursue yes.
I was gonna say if depending on what locomotion says on a e-bike demo, I could potentially reach out to e-bike shop or see if Dave Roberts from the EIC has any. Actually, I work with him on that project, so he might have some ideas too on a way to get a e-bike demo.
Great. Yeah, I think an e-bike demo would be a real attraction, and people would really be interested in finding out about that and coming in and checking it out. The other thing is, Dwight, we had talked about having the blower door there if we don't run into another big blow, another of a different sort, like we did last time.
Yep.
That was a big attraction before.
Yep. I'm pretty sure that I can do that for at least. Let me look at August here just to make sure. Yeah, August 9th, or next one is the next farmers market that we're gonna grab is. Do we know the date? The 17th.
I was thinking about looking for the 17th because I've got a conflict on the 10th and another one on the 24th. So I was going to try for the 17th if that works for anybody.
I can support with the blower door, at least picking it up or dropping it off and setting it up and picking it back up again.
Okay, great. And maybe by then I will have had an opportunity to, or somebody, maybe me, will have had an opportunity to actually get involved in the test and know a lot more about it to help explain it, even if you can't be there for that. So
So
we
is
can.
everybody, my concern again is was this last time was the weather and the wind. I didn't want to create the
Yep.
big red sail and have our multi-$1,000 blower door not even get to the first pre-audit. So
No, I think I agree with that entirely. As we decided, pulling an audible at the last minute there. So
yeah,
that's good. I think
it's
that
turned
makes a
out to
lot of
be a good
sense.
call because the wind was whipping pretty good.
Oh, it was really whipping. It really was. So having been there myself, I know exactly what was going on. In fact, we wound up putting an extra tie down on the canopy to hold it to the ground. So okay. So that sounds like a reasonable plan. That said, I think we can move on to the next item. Does anybody want to beat this horse for any longer? Okay, that said, I just wanted to put on the table some things that have sort of come across my desk along the way, and I put them in the agenda and the annotated agenda that I sent around, and find out if there's any of these we wanted to think about pursuing at all. I included links to all of them. One is MERP, which Municipal Energy Resilience Program or something like that, and there's another one, EPA Solar for All program that people have been hyping a little bit. I've encountered an interesting energy department hub for available funding sources, and also wanted to mention SolarFest, which is just an interesting phenomenon that is kind of back on the table. So I don't know if anybody has any thoughts about any of these, if anybody's had a chance to look at any of them. I thought, for example, the MERP program had limited utility based on what I could see about it. I included a few descriptors that I saw, but it looked like if we wanted to still pursue it, that it might be a source of funding for a town hall ground source heat pump. And so I don't know whether that's something we want to look into in any more depth or,
So Michael,
yes,
I just remind us that we agreed that we would focus on 3 big projects.
yes,
And I would say that if we have other things that come up, we should just ask if anybody wants to take point on it. If no one wants to take point on it, we drop it. Because there's an infinite number of cool things and useful things that we could do, but we need to be realistic. And I just feel like we don't need more stuff on our plate unless there's somebody who's really wants to make it their baby.
true. And I thank you for reminding me of that, Steve. You know that I am prone to jumping on my horse and riding off in all directions at the same time.
Well, it's a good thing
Steve
if you
is,
can pull it off. If you can pull it off, it's good. But I just feel
yep,
like we're spread pretty thin right now in terms of getting things done. And I'd like to see us finish what we've started and not get it diluted with other cool projects.
it makes sense to me. Now, that said, the EPA Solar for All isn't necessarily something that we would do something with, but it could be a source of funding for people who, just as provide information, linking up with the DOE funding hub, just providing that information like on the town hall website or something like that,
I think that's a
to
good
make
thing.
it available to people.
And even just putting a link in Front Porch Forum with a little paragraph. I mean, if it's
Yep.
simple and can be done in something simple, it can be done in 5 or 10 minutes. Let's do it.
Yes, I could do that. I could put that in Front Porch Forum, make an announcement that we've added links to those, include the links right in Front Porch Forum, but also call attention to the website as a way to get there. Amanda said she would put these links up for us if we chose to. So,
Good.
um, has anybody else visited the website at all, or the new website, and
I've only
see?
gone to it to get a link to today's meeting.
Okay. I'm not, wild about it, but I think it does make it's looks better than it did before. So, I
So
still
I
find
think
I
we
have a
should,
little, yep,
I think that we should think of a simple framework for things that we want to put up, and announcements, programs, whatever, something simple, so that we
yep,
got a place we can add stuff to it, but we don't get involved in tons of maintenance.
yep, yep, just providing links and that sort of thing.
Yeah,
That sounds good to me. There's already a link up for Energy Efficiency Vermont.
good.
But I think we should include the Drive Electric one, maybe with a particular sublink to the calculator, the DOE hub one, maybe information about the EPA Solar for All one. One of the things that I was wondering about, I don't know, have any of you had any familiarity with SolarFest in the past?
Yes, I've
Because
presented at it a couple times in the past.
okay, great. They had planned to have they've started up again after they stopped for a while and they started up again. And so they had planned to go ahead this past weekend. They did not. It's been postponed, but not to a time certain yet. So, but it occurred to me that one of the things we could do is try to get that posted on the Energy Committee and things like it posted on the Energy Committee calendar, for people to, with links for other people to know about. I had been thinking about going down. I wasn't going to be able to go to this past one just because my schedule was too busy. But now if they change it, I'm interested in a couple of the seminars or workshops that they're doing, and B, I'm interested in some of the music that they're having. So I was thinking about actually going myself, but I thought, just making that information available to people as part of our calendar would be a worthwhile thing, which is kind of why I put it up there as a example of something along those lines. And in case anybody here wants to know about it, I included the link to SolarFest. I didn't know if anybody had any thoughts about that, those kind of things.
Again, I think if we can share information that people might be interested in, and it's easy and it doesn't take too much of our time, why not?
Yeah,
I just
I
don't
agree
want
with.
to.
Oh, sorry, Steve. I agree with you. I think if we can point people towards the town website, and I mean, I'm on the page right now. There's upcoming events and there's informational links under our energy committee. I think that's do a front porch forum, point them there, and it's best of both worlds.
Sounds good. I'll pull those together and send them off to Amanda if people are agreeable.
I'm looking for, you said, oh, there's information links. I see it. Okay, good. Good. Move on.
Okay. Yeah, we're kind of ahead of the schedule, but that's all right with me. I
Beautiful
have
night.
threatened to leave. Yeah, yeah, it is a beautiful night. I have left open a section for member items in case anybody has anything they want to discuss, marvelous things they've discovered. I did see. I'll probably be sending it around. I saw a post just today that Toyota is looking at bringing out a new battery for their cars that supposedly reduce size and cost by 50%. They're looking at a 700 plus mile range associated with it, and for half the price and half the size. So we'll see what they actually come up with. But
That'd be great. Michael,
yeah,
I
wouldn't
hate
it?
to do this. Hate to do this, but I'm going to ask to back up a second because I had a question about
Sure.
website. Do we just want to say that you're the person who puts stuff up and we propose it? If we find something, we send it to you so that you can, make a judgment call. Somebody ought to be in charge. Is it you?
Sure, I'll do it. I'll do it. Fine.
Good. Thank you.
Yep. So member items. Any members got items that they want to bring up or talk about?
I just wanted to say that was on the energy subcommittee for the Chittenden County Regional Planning Commission's board of the energy plan, and we have one more meeting, and then that'll be completed. Very extensive plan that's coming out from them around transportation and all of that stuff. So they had experts on from each, and I was representing the weatherization folks. So that's coming. That project is coming to a close.
Is there a draft available, Dwight?
There will be. There is not a draft available at this moment outside of the committee. They're going to submit it to the planning commission supposedly next week, and we'll get an answer, and then I think it'll be made available on CCRPC's website.
Well, sounds good to me.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks for doing that, Dwight.
Yes, thank you.
And I'm still waiting to hear if I'm on one of the low income advocates for the Affordable Heat Act S5 planning. Not heard yet. They keep extending the volunteer deadline. That tells me they're not getting enough volunteers. So,
That could very well be. Uh, okay. We are well ahead of the game, and that's all right with me again. Do we have agenda items that we want to be taking up for next time? I know we've got the whole question about the bike projects and that sort of thing on the table. We've got the solar thing we've got to be pulling together, and hopefully the solar committee will have some information available by that time. I think that the solar committee too, we can start putting together our whole, whatever we want to do on this. There's a lot of information now. We now have a whole other part of town that is going to be served by three-phase power all the way up to Krug Road. So we can start thinking about doing something with all of that. So maybe we can put together a little way to pursue that on the solar group and get back to folks. Other than that, I think it's just getting the information out and so on. But any thoughts beyond that?
I've been
I
a
was gonna
little
say
overwhelmed. Go ahead.
I did reach out to my colleague about the solar array in Jericho,
Yep.
and she actually gave me contact to reach out to. So I
I'm sorry, I
haven't
missed
reached
that,
out to.
Lori. Okay.
Oh, I was saying, reach out to my colleague that lives in Jericho about the solar array and what they're doing with the power there. But she actually gave me a contact to reach out to,
Okay.
which I haven't done yet. If you still want me to do that, I can look into that too.
Yeah, we really, I mean, I think that's going to be a big piece of the puzzle. It's like once we get past, because right now the array that we've got going up in Beartown is a net metering arrangement. And, especially if we want to go to potentially larger arrays, the idea of net metering them is not going to be realistic. So I assume there's going to have to be something. And Jericho is almost certainly not net metering 2 megawatts or whatever it is they got
Well,
over
I
there.
was going to put an aluminum smelter in my backyard. I could use lots of power.
We'll keep that in mind, Steve. I've got a lot of old cans lurking around here. The cat food cans you can start feeding it with.
I'd much rather use raw ore that we get just, dig in the ground. That makes a lot more sense to me. Why recycle when you can dig new?
Virgin material, nothing like it. That probably ups the power requirement by a factor of 10 at least.
At least. So I just want
Well,
to say that I've been a little preoccupied with my dad. My dad is now in a nursing home. So I didn't get to make any contacts to the solar developers, but I will. I'll do that before the next meeting.
that sounds great. Yeah, we can, and the solar committee should really kind of pull this together, semi offline and bring
Yeah.
the information in. So I think that's a great idea. What I'll do is I'll send out an email somewhere in the next week or so to see if we can find a time to either Zoom or get together for coffee or whatever is people's pleasure and pursue that. I will pursue the farmers market and for both August and September and see what we can do with those times. At the very least, we'll go and sit there and look pretty or something like that. Jerry and I are real real attractions in that regard. So get our little solar fountain going and see if anybody will come. The big red door will do the trick for us, if nothing else.
Okay, I
So,
propose we adjourn. I move
okay,
we adjourn.
we have a motion. A motion to adjourn is on the table. It's not debatable. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Oh,
Any
Dwight?
opposed?
Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Jerry.
Dwight, what's the situation on the pre-audit on the 28th?
Yep, 28th, 9 o'clock. If you're interested, send me a note and I will get you the time and place. Or I can pick you up, Jerry, if you want to go.
No, I can mobilize during the daytime.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to go, but I may have a conflict. See if I can get a supernumerary.
All right. If you're interested, like I said, send me a note, and I'd like to have at least one person with me. So
I'll do that.
So
Great.
welcome to Lori. We
Okay.
look forward to meeting you.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you. I just wanted to say thank you, everyone. I look forward to meeting you as well.
Well,
Right.
that's great. We were in the middle of a vote, so all in favor say aye.
aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, the meeting is adjourned. Go enjoy the rest of the evening, everyone. Thanks, everyone, for everything. And we'll go from here.
See you all. Bye-bye.
See ya.